we're joined on the programme now by Rose Conway-Walsh, Sinn Féin TD for this constituency. Rose Conway-Walsh, good evening to you.
Good evening, Aidan.
And thank you very much indeed for joining us. I know you're going to say that it's quite clear that this government has no interest in the west of Ireland and rural Ireland more generally, but the fact of the matter is a senior politician, Dara Calleary, is around the cabinet table, and while he may not have a vote, he certainly will be in a position to drive policy, and the likelihood that with other ministers who will be concerned about rural Ireland, that the situation may not be as grim as people have been forecasting since his appointment was announced on Saturday evening.
Well, I suppose the first thing I want to do is to congratulate Dara on his whip's role, but I know that's not what Dara wanted, and I know that's not what where he envisaged himself to be. He wanted a senior ministership, and he thought that his loyalty to Micheál Martin would count for something. So I did really feel for Dara on Saturday, even when it became clear in the convention centre that he hadn't been given a senior role. I suppose I also want to acknowledge the work that Michael Ring has done, and the fact that he didn't get a senior ministry either. What I saw on Saturday was, first and foremost, was the human cost of it. People give out about politicians all the time and dehumanize politicians. But when you see, and there was a lot across the board, Thomas Byrne and several more, and you could see that they realised that they had been sold down the Swanee. Now, you have to look then at the realisation that when we looked at the team, the West had been sold down the Swanee and Mayo had been sold down the Swanee. And the number of calls that I have received since, my phone has been hopping since then, with people right across the board, and it's not only people in Mayo and people in the West, but members of the diaspora as well, people who had immigrated, and they said, for God's sake, let this not happen again. I thought this was finished with immigration and all of that. So it really, really has hurt people. And I think what's hurt people in the most is that you have three parties here, and it really exposes the insincerity of the three of them for the West and for Mayo, for rural Ireland, that they're only paying lip service to it. And I think people are right to be shocked and people are right to be angry. But I suppose my message to people would be that there is hope there, and there's great hope. And what gives me the hope, Aidan, is, I see the response from people. And you see, if that were to happen a number of years ago, people would almost let it just slide by. But people are standing up and people are fighting back. And that is where I will come in, and that is where Sinn Féin will come in leading that fight back against this ignoring and disrespect of rural Ireland and the disrespect of the West.